Welcome back everyone, and this video is sponsored by no one. No one is sponsoring this video. After taking this bag to Japan for 10 days and then Melbourne for another 5 days, I managed to use this bag every day for those trips. I had a much clearer understanding and the usability of this bag. So no BS, or being around the bush. Here are my thoughts about this bag. So what made this bag stand out and what made it work? Obviously, if you have a bag, you want it to be comfortable, especially when you're carrying it all day, every day. The straps were big and thick and cushiony, and they really do help when you're carrying the bag all day. It helps distribute the weight and the camera gear along your back. It also doesn't cut into your shoulders. Sternum and waist straps. Sternum strap actually helps hold your bag in place when you're walking around, especially when you're running or walking a lot. The bag tends to move along side to side. The sternum strap actually holds the bag in place quite well. The waist strap doesn't exist in this bag, so I've actually mentioned this in my other video. My thoughts were, the design was rushed and no one will ever use it. I never used it in this trip. If you're not carrying the bag on your back, you're probably holding it with one of the handles, and the top handle on this bag is nice. It gives you something to hold and something really comfortable to hold, unlike other bags where it's just like a little strip and it cuts into your hand if you hold on to it for too long. The other handles, such as the side handle, isn't too bad. They're a little bit small, but you're not supposed to hold on to your bag via that handle for too long anyway. So it's just supposed to be a handle that you use to pull your bag out of a compartment in the plane or out from the boot of your car. And because of that, the handles are actually very small and doesn't give you a lot of space for you to put your hand through to grab those handles. And as for the handle at the back of the bag, I found this handle to be quite useless. I never actually used it, and I actually had to find a reason to hold it that way. And when I did, I never actually liked holding the bag that way anyways. So again, this handle is literally to help you pull your bag out of the compartment. So I guess that's the reason why it's there. But that handle also doubles as a luggage strap. So you can actually use it to strap it along your luggage handle, which is also something I didn't use on this trip. So what are some of the features that worked for me? So I mentioned this in my other video before. For some reason, I just like to access my camera from my right side opposed to my left side. Just a personal preference. And this camera bag for some reason accommodates for that, whereas other bags such as Low Pro usually has it on the left side or have access points on both sides. And I love the external straps on this bag. The option of carrying more things by just strapping it to the outside of your bag is a great feature. I only just strap my jumper or my shopping that won't fit in my bag. Bottle pocket's also very nice. It's always very firm and it holds very tightly. So naturally I'll leave my bottle in there a lot of the time. Otherwise I'll use it to carry my GoPro. And there's plenty of space for your camera gear. And if you didn't know, I actually carry my camera at the bottom compartment opposed to the top compartment where it's recommended to. And the reason for that is if you have the camera at the bottom and that's where all the weight is, it'll help the bag stand up when you put it on the ground. So what did I bring on my trip? I had my A7R3, my Sony 24-105 G lens, and a 30mm prime. I also brought my GoPro Hero 7, hard drive, power bank, my laptop, and the chargers. So I packed relatively light compared to my other trips. So some of the features that actually stood out that I actually didn't expect, and this includes the bag standing up by itself when I put it down. And that's obviously because I put all the camera stuff at the bottom and the weight actually distributes pretty well at the bottom there. Now that I have said all the good stuff about this bag, what are some of the things that did not work for me? The one thing that annoyed me about this bag the most is trying to get things out of it, especially when you're trying to get things out from the top compartment, partially because you have to open the whole compartment to get something out. There are times when I'm looking for things in my bag and I just want to open the whole compartment and just look for it, just see everything inside. Instead, I have to open it a little bit from the top, stick my hand in there, and just scramble for whatever I'm looking for. Now, what are some of the features that I actually never used? For one, I actually never used the handle on the back that I mentioned before. I actually never felt the need to carry my bag in that way. The strap lifter kept coming loose, which was very annoying because every time I put the bag down, it would just loosen up. This is probably because the material they use is very, very smooth, which is nice to hold, but it's not good for this purpose of the bag. And because it got loose so often, I actually gave up using it. I actually never bother adjusting it every single time now. So that feature I stopped using. As for durability, this bag seemed to be quite durable and it felt really strong and the material felt like it's gonna last for quite a while. There isn't any real damage that's actually done to this bag, but I am getting some stitching problem from the straps. And I don't think it's because the bag is too heavy or because I'm holding the bag incorrectly. I also didn't use the lens cap holder that's on the straps. I thought it was a good idea at first, but I actually never used it because I thought it was a bit flimsy. I did however use the little pocket that's on the left strap, which I used to hold spare change, keys, and sometimes batteries. The RFID pocket was actually quite useful for me to carry my passport and other documents. The little battery pockets as well was quite useful. I actually never used the little indicators. That's probably because I wasn't in a professional shooting environment. I was just on a holiday. So whether the battery is going to be flat or not, I don't think it was that hard for me to remember. That power bank compartment for some reason was actually quite useful. I actually did use it as a power bank compartment. So I had a little power bank in there and the little cables, and I actually used it to charge my phone a few times in this trip. Now for the rest of the video, I'm going to respond to some of the comments I've had in my previous videos about the PGY bag. This guy mentioned that he bought the Peter McKinnon pneumatic bag. He loves the bag and he finds it to be very comfortable, travels a lot, has 2 to 3 lenses in his bag all the time and a tripod and other equipment, and it gets really heavy. And he says that the Peter McKinnon bag is helping his back a lot. Yada yada yada. I think he really likes the bag, which is something I would like to mention. I am not telling you to buy this PGY bag because it's cheaper. I'm saying it is an option if you don't want to spend $510 on a bag, opposed to spending maybe just $200 and getting something similar. And if you're as poor as me, $500 for a bag is crazy money. And this comment says that there's 2 things missing in this bag, and that's the bottom handle. And he also mentioned that the cloth on the strap seems to be very harsh on bare skin. I honestly haven't had that experience because when I was in Japan it was winter, so I actually never carried a bag on my back on bare skin. So when I go on a hike, I'll probably be more aware of it now. And you're totally correct. The PGY is obviously better in the pricing of the bag because it's obviously about half the price or less. And the pneumatic bag is definitely a more complete bag. But then again, PGY is marketed to be a budget camera bag. I also have a question here asking if you can invert the bag, so you can have the PGY little bag at the top and then having your camera gear at the bottom. So I didn't get the drone bag, partially because I don't have a drone and I don't really need that bag. So I don't know whether it will fit a top compartment, but you can definitely swap it around and have your camera gear at the bottom, and that's where I put my camera on my bag. Anyways, if you have more questions about this bag, just leave in the comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Stay home, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching.